Lindsey Beckham Show, where we are coming to you live from the Heart of Flora and the Cotton Exchange Plaza, the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi Studios. I am joined today by my sometimes co-host, Shaun Yurtkuran, Yerk the Turk. I think that's what some people like to call him.
Hey, what's up? Hey, everybody. Happy to be here. It is Wednesday. Actually, I totally forgot what day it was, too.
I know. I was trying to think quickly, and
been a hectic week. Yesterday was a holiday, too. So if you're...
It was Happy Veterans Day late, Shaun.
Thank you.
You're a veteran.
Yep. It was... so if you're... I'm not a state employee anymore, but a lot of the stuff I do, obviously, involves the state government, federal government. Everything's shut down. So in the middle of the week, the courthouses are shut down. So that's not going on. And it kind of it breaks up the week. So, but I do wish all my fellow veterans a happy Veterans Day. Hope everybody got their free meal at Applebee's or whatever it is. That's what I used to do. I didn't do that this year.
You used to go to Applebee's for Veterans Day?
Yeah, they got like a Veterans Day menu that you got to choose from.
I thought you said you quit doing that because
I did not go. I'm not gonna hate on Applebee's. Come on, no. But yeah, I used to do.
I like Applebee's. They have that. There's that country song.
Oh, that's right.
Applebee's.
Yeah.
Date night,
I think I've heard it.
Steak and
my knowledge
Oreo
of country music is not very extensive, but anyway, so yeah, happy Veterans Day to everybody out there that served. So
absolutely, thank you so much for your sacrifice. So Shaun, I've started doing something on the show. You probably don't know because you don't listen most of the time.
I listened Monday. I mean,
Did you hear my Madison Minute?
No, I don't think I did.
So I'm opening each show with a Madison Minute, which is a quote from one of our founding fathers, or someone in the political sphere that
is that because of James Madison or just?
Yes, it's
Okay, I didn't know it was not Madison the city.
No, but I think it's perfect since I live in Madison and it's a Madison Minute, and this is how we open all our meetings at Moms for Liberty. I decided I was going to start opening my show with a Madison Minute. So this one is from Benjamin Franklin.
Yeah,
and he said, "Democracy is two wolves and a lamb voting on what to have for lunch. Liberty is a well-armed lamb contesting the vote."
That's great.
Pretty good, huh?
Franklin always had some good ones. My favorite one that he said is that beer is proof that God loves us and wants us to be happy. That is an actual quote from Benjamin
God
Franklin.
is great, beer is good, and people are crazy. Another country music reference.
They also, at one point, even he was older when they established the office, but they were talking about the vice presidency, and he said he referred to it as his superfluous excellency. Means absolutely useless. So that was another one that he said. But the beer one is my favorite.
There's really some great quotes to live by if you go back and look at some of the things our founding fathers said.
I think had a lot of time to read, so they were.
They were a lot more well versed
than we are, I think, these days.
We're distracted by all the screens and social media and nonsense that we are today.
Yep, absolutely. So.
Right. Well, you came up with an interesting show topic.
Yeah, I thought it'd be good, especially with us talking about this because you get a woman's perspective on it, and
which is always the right one, as we know.
Yeah, because I mean, I knew the initial reaction to what I'm about to say was everybody would be against it. I'm against it too, by the way. But then I was kind of thinking about the person's feelings on it. Anyway, real quick. So what this is there's a lawsuit that was filed where a 34-year-old woman was filed a lawsuit against her boyfriend, who's 38, after they were dating for 10 years. And he had promised her that they were going to get married and have children. And he knew that she really wanted to have children and whatnot. So, but they dated for like a long time, decade. And finally, when he was 38, he said, I got more time than you because I'm a guy and I can wait.
I know somebody else that says that.
Yeah, right.
Trade you in for a younger model.
We got more time. So he said, I don't really think I want to have kids in my late 40s. And I got another decade of working on my career and having fun. And of course, she's a woman. She's 34 years old. So she's running out of time. And she says, well, that's not fair. I think you should pay for my in vitro or store my eggs or whatever it's called. I forget the actual procedure name, but you know what I mean? Freeze your eggs. And he's not going to do that. So they broke up. So she sued him and for breaking a promise, Lindsey, to get married and have children because he wasted her childbearing years. So she claimed to be damaged by that, and she, reasonably relied upon his promises, his representations to her and whatnot. So that's it. That's a lawsuit. And of course, I put that on Facebook, and I actually found it on this thing called The Telegraph where they were talking about what happened. 99% of people are like, that's crap. She can't sue him. She should have known better. And that's true. I'm not saying that's not true, But
I mean, it was very selfish on his part.
But yeah, see, I look at it that way too. I don't think there's a legal remedy here.
Well, you
but
can't sue somebody. They don't owe you money because they changed their mind.
yeah, they don't
People can
exactly.
change their minds. There was no contract. There wasn't even a marriage.
No, they weren't married or anything. No, just they were just dating. So
Yeah. So I hate it for her.
Yeah, I think it sucks. Because I mean, it is kind of crap because like women do have a limited time to do that, and that's very important for so many women, understandably, to have children and start families. And for guys, we just don't really look at it the same way because we get all the time in the world. I mean, we get like 90 and have a kid if we wanted to.
Yeah, but that's not fair to the kid.
No, well, but I'm not speaking that we're not time limited though in the same way, and I think men have sometimes just don't really think about that as much. And so this guy apparently didn't. He was just like, nah, I got another 10 years. I'm going to roll. Just do what I want to do.
But I mean, my thought process is that he probably really thought he wanted to have kids by that point. But by the time he got there, he was like, I'm just not ready. And I think a lot of people do that. That happens with a lot of people. It doesn't make him, a bad person or liable financially. I don't believe.
No, I 100% agree. I don't think he's liable. I mean, there's certainly nothing to law. Now, there used to be in the law, this was a very well-noted thing, lawsuit. Women were able to sue over it because if a man didn't get married to them after they were engaged or whatnot, they were able to, because back then, like this was like 100, 200 years ago, women relied upon men for most things, especially financial security. And so they were able to, and the thought process, this sounds kind of funny, like the thought process was if a guy like got engaged to a woman and then she'd have sex with him and that would ruin her virginity. So that would ruin her future marriage prospects. And then she was damaged that way. And that
she was damaged because she'd already had sex with him.
Yeah, that was the thought process behind it.
How would anybody even know that unless
well, I
told
mean,
them?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. I guess somehow they would know, freaking, I don't come up with something. Lisa was engaged to Bobby or something, and then they broke it off. And obviously she slept with him, and that means I don't want to marry her. And that's what would happen. So they, and that would, again, of course, ruin her like financial prospects because women couldn't, produce as much income or any income in that time point in history. So this went on for a lot. I think they didn't get rid of it till sometime in the 20th century where you're able to do that. They were able to sue for like not going through with the actual marriage.
I guess they thought of it as a, if you proposed and the person said yes, it's almost a contract, like a deal that you've made. I know I have heard some stuff about this before concerning the engagement ring. Like if the woman calls it off, she has to give the ring back because she didn't fulfill her obligation to marry the man. But if the man calls it off, then the woman gets to keep the ring because he's the one that didn't fulfill his obligation.
Yeah, you think like I'm being the lawyer would know this, but I've heard it too, and I'm not exactly sure.
I don't know what the law says on it, but I've heard people argue over the ring part of it because of one person or the other party not fulfilling their obligation to get married or go through with it all.
That's true. I think the thought process, and what, of course, I've never encountered this or thought a lawsuit based on it, but I've just heard this in passing that if a man gives a woman like a ring, she breaks off the engagement, he would get it back because the ring was the considerate, what's called a contract, like the consideration for the agreement to get married, and she breaks it off, he'd get the ring back. I think that's right, but I actually don't know. Did you get any of those? I'm not a contract lawyer, y'all. I'm a criminal lawyer, but yeah, I think that's right.
Did you get any of those rings back?
That's funny. Lindsay's making fun because I've been married twice. And that's a very good point. That's why the divorce rate in this country is north of 50%. And
why is that?
Well, I mean, I'm a statistic part of it, I guess. I threw into it, but it just
you helped that statistic, huh?
Well, I think Clay and I were talking about that on his show one time, and you like turned it off because you got mad about what we were saying, and
because y'all were like bashing women.
Well, I think what I said was, is there anything in our society that has such a high failure rate and we continue to do it? Then the example I gave was if the Delta, okay, we're going to go to Chicago in a week, right? Now, if you knew that Delta Airlines had a 50% crash rate, would we be flying to Chicago next weekend? If the 50% of the planes crashed, would you want to get on the plane?
No.
Okay, that's my point. So like there's divorce is a 50% divorce rate, and we still do it gladly. Like everybody goes and gets into it.
But that divorce rate is declining.
I mean, like by like 1% or 2. It's not much. I've seen
but it's somewhat. I mean, it's
okay,
it's something.
It's 48% now.
It's something.
So, I mean, if 48% of the planes crashed, how would you feel about getting on a Delta flight next weekend?
I mean, I don't think you're comparing apples to oranges,
I
Shaun.
mean, but how is it though? I mean, if that's the statistics.
But no, that's not the same thing at all. At all. I mean, there
Well, I
are.
mean, one's a plane, a mechanical,
But
vehicle or whatever.
right, but you can't compare planes and marriage. I mean, marriage produces children, and most people want to be married when they have offspring, and most people do plan to procreate. The majority of people do want to have children at some point.
Sure.
So that comes into play as well. I mean, that's not, you can't compare marriage to a plane.
Well, I mean, I'm not necessarily comparing it to a plane in that
Yes,
sense. We'll pick something else. I'm just saying, if there's something that has that high of a failure rate, pick anything that's got that. I mean, I like the Miami Dolphins. Should I watch their games anymore because they lose like 70% of them? Probably not. But but I guess my point is, okay, let me phrase it this way. If the plane was crashing 50% of the time, okay, we'd investigate why, wouldn't we?
Absolutely.
Okay, but we don't do that with marriage.
Yes, we do.
No, we just say everybody needs to get married. Like, that's what we do.
Like,
it's just like societal expectation.
I don't say everybody needs to get married. I think you get married if you want to get married. I just think the majority of people do. We're made to crave companionship.
I 100% agree with that. And I'm not saying that, but I don't think we fully investigate. I'll use that term because I was talking about the plane. What causes marriages to fail and do much to prevent that. It seems to me, especially I think on the women front, is like, it's just they got to get married, but figuring out whether that person's the right person or whether this, do things to figure out whether it's going to work out long term, all those things. We don't do any of those things. We got to get married.
I disagree. I think most preachers won't even marry you until they counsel you first. I mean, I think that there are guardrails that people put into place. There are family and marriage counselors. I mean, okay, put it like this, Shaun. How many people get through law school, pass the bar, and then are successful opening their own practice? I'm sure it's a small percentage or compared to the people that dream that, but you did it.
Yeah, but it's like opening up any business, right? Like the failure rate's going to be much higher. Right? I mean, businesses fail.
So then why'd you do it?
Why did I open my own law firm? Well, yeah, because I see where you're trying to go with this, because you're saying like what you're trying to say is that people that open up their own businesses, there's a high rate of business failures. Well, you're probably right. I mean, small businesses tend to fail, like restaurants. I think it's got like a 70 or 80% failure rate. Why do people do it? Because they believe. I guess that would be the answer.
Right. They follow their heart and they follow their dreams and they believe they can make it work.
But that's okay. That's a really good point, and I got a counter for it though.
Okay.
But I believe that I didn't just go to law school, graduate, and then open my own law firm. I've been out of law school for 20 years now. You know what I mean? Like, so I went through, I was an assistant DA, I was an assistant attorney general. I did a lot of things before I said, okay, I have the requisite experience to open my own law firm and be successful and whatnot. And I think that's a targeted risk or a strategic risk, as you would say, educated risk. A lot of ways you could put that. It's not like a 21-year-old kid saying, "Yep, I got to get married because everybody else does," and that happens a lot.
What about people who don't get married at 21? They date, they figure out what it is that they are really looking for in a partner, and then they make an educated decision to do it after spending a lot of time in thought and prayer.
I think that's great. I think if you do that and you go through all those steps and then try those things rather than on a whim, but apparently we have at least half the society that does it on either on a whim or bad information or just don't care. I mean, because how is it that high? 50%, that's a lot of people.
I think a lot of people rush into it. And I think that's probably one of the biggest problems. I think that's if we could educate people on how, let's be prepared before we take that step, because that's a big step.
No, it's a huge one. And there's some things I want to get into about this too, especially with regards to family law and the government involved in this. But the conversation is going better than I thought it would. We're going to get in this lady soon. We all agree she's stupid. She shouldn't be able to do that. But it sucks that he was a jerk.
Yeah, he was selfish.
He was a jerk and he's selfish. Anyway, we'll be back on the next segment of the Lindsey Beckham Show. Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Keep it tuned here to 103.9 WYAB. Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit americansforprosperity.org. Be a part of positive change at americansforprosperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
Did you know that the average 6-room house collects 40 pounds of dust each year? Local business Pure Air Consultants duct cleaning service can rid your home of the dust, dirt, and debris that may be caught in your air ducts. They can eliminate the mold, fungi, and microbes that might be growing inside your ductwork and polluting the air you breathe in your home. Mention WYAB and receive a free UV light with system replacement. Visit online at mypureairconsultants.com. mypureairconsultants.com.
Friday night lights, family, and a hot Johnny's Pizza House pizza on the table. Now, that's our kind of hunt. Make it a sweep the kitchen and bring everyone together. Johnny's Pizza House. Let's share a slice. Here in the South, we keep our football lounge and our pizza loaded. Grab a Johnny's Pizza House, sweep the kitchen, and cheer on your hometown team. Johnny's Pizza House. Let's share a slice.
After 28 years, we are closing our brick and mortar location in Canton come November 2025. But fear not, smalltownmusic.com will remain alive and well, and you will still be able to text or call 601-859-8596. Small Town Music, come on ahead. 859-8596. Come before you home. We will have a booth on Canton Square at the Emporium, and you can still browse our guitars and support our original music at www.smalltownmusic.com.
Attention homeowners and business owners. Complete Exteriors is now Elite Roofing and Gutters. Are your roof and gutters storm ready? The folks at Elite are your local experts in storm protection. Now is the time for an inspection and for proactive solutions that ensure your roof and gutters can withstand any storm. Get up to a possible $250 rebate on a new roofing system for all active military, veterans, and retirees. Online at eliteroofer.com.
Hi, this is Lee Atkins of Home Care Plus in Ridgeland. We are a proud carrier of Abena Premium Incontinence products. Abena has the most absorbency available, making changes and leaks less likely. After 7 years as a seller, I can tell you these products are amazing and worth every penny to quality of life for patient and caregiver. And we ship all incontinence products as well. So please come see us at Home Care Plus in Ridgeland for all the incontinence needs of you or your family member. That's Home Care Plus in Ridgeland.
Hey, this is Ben Ingram from the Braves Radio Network. We're in commercial right now, so I want to let my sister take over and tell you about Hometown Property Group.
Thanks, Ben. This is Mary Claire Putman with Hometown Property Group. Whether you're buying or selling, we are committed to guiding you through your real estate transaction with integrity, exceptional service, and remarkable results. Madison County has been my home for 40 years. I'd love to help make it yours, too.
That's Hometown Property Group. Give them a call at 601-853-6080.
Come together right now.
And we're back on the Lindsey Beckham Show with our next segment on how great marriage is, and it's not like a plane. Wasn't that what we were calling it?
It's not like a plane.
Anyway, y'all, I was comparing the divorce rate to, which is around 50%, to whether you
48.
40. It's 48. And if you get on a plane if the crash rate of the plane was that high? And obviously nobody would, because they'd be like, yeah, I'm not flying. And Lindsey says that's different than marriage.
It's very different.
So that's where we were talking about there. But anyway, so we're back on that. But what I wanted to kind of expound on, Lindsey, is the so this is something that you should agree with, I would think, because you're an anti-government kind of person, and yeah, you're on the right. Obviously, I'm the left, which is funny because
I mean, I am a
position,
part of an anti-government hate group. They
yeah,
call
I
us.
mean, you're anti-government, and I would think that a lot of conservatives would understand what I'm about to say.
Sovereign citizen.
Sovereign citizen would be. Why is the government involved in marriage except for support of minor children and property distribution? Otherwise, like, I don't see why the government is involved in it at all, except for those two things. Like, that seems like the only thing it would be involved in.
I tend to agree with you here because I believe marriage is a promise to each other and to God.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't really understand, how I feel about government overreach and tyranny and the way that government wants their hand in everything. And I have to automatically think, follow the money, find the corruption. Is it tax purposes? Is that why the government wants to be involved?
I mean, I don't know. I had to look in the history of when. I'm sure the government's been involved in marriage probably in hundreds of years. And I don't know before that what kind of system they had. But it's interesting to me that you have to go. I mean, I would assume you've always had to go through some sort of, whether it be legal process through the government, or was there, I don't know if there was a religious process in the Middle Ages where you have to go through a divorce process. Because I mean, Henry VIII got divorced. That was the whole big thing, the split up with the Catholic Church and all that stuff. So what?
Yeah, why can't you just say, hey, we don't like each other anymore.
Yeah.
Let's not live together and raise a family together anymore.
But if we got children, the government's going to make sure that the child support's paid.
Maybe that's what it is. It's the children part of it.
But you could do that, though, regardless. You could do that without having to be married or divorced. Like, there's plenty of people that get married that don't have any kids. So what does that have to do with them? You know what I mean? Like, it just,
I guess, is it because once you've made that commitment to someone, I mean, I guess I can understand it. Say you've got a man who works and a woman who he wanted to stay home and raise his kids. And that's been their agreement all these years. And once the kids are grown and out of the house, he leaves her high and dry. She has no way to provide for herself because this is the life she's lived all those years. I can understand then why someone would need to step in on her behalf, or vice versa. I mean, women work today and men stay home. So either way.
Yeah, you're talking about like what sort of like a rehabilitative alimony. I think that's what they call it.
Right. Or if a spouse is abusive or caught cheating, and then they're just they get away with it without having to help the person they were.
I don't know if you get any money for being abusive. I'm not sure, but I've never heard.
Well, I mean, if you've been married to someone a whole bunch of years, you usually get alimony or some sort of.
Well, it depends. It's like, I mean, if you both are earning the same amount, and by the way, this is not legal advice for anybody listening because I'm not a family practitioner at all. I just kind of, what I pick up here and there from my friends that are. I mean, if you're making equal incomes, then that's not going to happen. And if you're married for a short period of time, that's not going to happen. But you're talking about if somebody, I'll give you the scenario. Like my parents are a good example of this. My mom, she worked, early years, but for the most part, my dad provided for the whole family and she raised us. And so if like now in their 70s and they got divorced, well, what's my mom supposed to do? Go get a job?
And how do they decide how to split the marital assets?
Well, that's what I'm talking about. When I say property distribution, that's what I'm saying. The two things the government should be involved in are
somebody would have to step in and mediate.
Yeah, that's my point. Though you could do that without being married. Though you could have, you could have property distribution and support for minor children being handled by the government, but your relationship is the thing. But you did bring up a good point that I didn't really think about. That is a good point about if you are in a situation where whether you're a woman raising the kids or you're the dude that does. No hate on the guys that do that. I mean, I couldn't do that.
Well, it's a hard job.
I could not do that. But there are guys that do that, and that's great. What happens if you just like sacrifice everything you're doing for like 20 years, 30 years, and then you're on there? That's a good point. That's one that would be. We have to almost have like some kind of, almost have some sort of like, I don't know if you want to call it prenuptial or some sort of agreement where if you're going to do that, I mean, if like I was a woman in this day and age, I would have to have some sort of contract saying if I wasn't married, let's say you're going to have kids and you're not married, saying, hey, look, if I'm not going to do any of that, I'm going to stay at the house and we're not married, then we're going to have some kind of agreement, a trust fund for me or something. Because by the way, there's a 50% chance that we're not going to make it as a couple. 48% chance. So there needs to be something for me. And that's fair. Like if I was like getting married to someone like that, I'd be like, yeah, that's completely fair if that's a deal we're making.
But Shaun, nobody has to involve the government. You can have a wedding and you can say vows and you can move in with someone and share your life with them and share a bank account, share everything.
Sure. You can do a lot
without having a marriage license. You can even change your name.
Yeah, you can change your name.
You can do all of that without going through the government part of being married?
I think it's because I'll read a lot about it. Since I've been married twice, y'all, I do read about this stuff. Like what is
Engaged another time before that.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, so I'll read a lot about this stuff, and I think a lot of
So you love
people.
marriage.
Yeah, right. That's what James Sexton. By the way, I recommend James Sexton on YouTube. He's a divorce lawyer. He gives the greatest analysis of this ever. The terrific videos. It's really funny, and I think what he says that a lot of people, that it's the act of getting, once they're married, they're great as a couple, and they can even have kids together and they're wonderful. But when they get married, it's like this ownership thing that happens, and they don't feel like they have to try anymore. And that kind of just ruins a lot of relationships. Where the actual, the act of actual being married is what destroys it.
You don't court your spouse
Yeah,
anymore.
that's the
I mean,
problem.
or the person that you're with. You don't date them because it's just a given.
Yeah, that they're going to be there no matter what,
Right.
and then you can just take advantage of it. Yeah, the situation. I
Mhm.
mean, and that's what he says is a big problem with it. That's what happens in so many relationships where you can do that. I mean, you can see, like, look, Lindsay works for me. She's a paralegal, and of course, I do criminal defense work, and some personal injury. But I don't do any family law, and I don't because I ain't dealing with y'all's problems. I mean, because
I
like
don't think people pay enough for that.
they don't. Like, I mean, I have clients ranging from people that are accused of committing murder down to a DUI, everything in between. And with criminal cases, it's different where, like, okay, either, you try to negotiate the best deal or you go to trial or whatever the thing is. And my clients are generally, I'm pretty cool with all of them. I like them. Like, I don't have a problem. They're not always harassing me, going crazy. But what I've seen on the family law end, divorce, oh my God, like, can I do the OMG thing? Because, like, it is.
Well, because I think there's more at stake there. It's your children, like it's
people like fighting over like the gold-plated hair dryer. Like, it's just and then I'll say this too. I probably
good hair dryer is hard to find, Shaun.
I probably get more calls and Facebook messages and emails for family law issues than anything else, even though I've done pretty much nothing but criminal practice for 20 years. And that's what I know about. People are always asking me about a family related issue. Like, who do I know? Since I don't, because I try to put it out there, like, I don't do this. Like,
people just hear lawyer and they think a lawyer just does it all.
Yeah, right. And so, like, and I mean, I'll do somebody's divorce if it's like uncontested. Like, I'll draft the papers.
I wouldn't even say that on air. You're gonna start getting phone calls.
I mean, I'm just saying what I would
put that back in the bottle.
Yeah, but but I get so many calls and messages about that, more than I even do criminal stuff, because it's just. And my point of saying that is this: everybody has an issue with this, whether it's a divorce, the child custody, whatever. There's so much of it. A friend of mine, I'm not going to name him, as a family law practitioner, and I'm like, dude, you must make a crap ton of money because there's so much business. And he's like,
there's a lot of business, but you're constantly.
That's what he
court.
said. He told me. He said, I do, man, but I tell you what, my mental health is not good.
I bet
he's
it's
like,
not.
because it's dealing with it is so difficult. But I mean, it's just a plethora. So I think, my point of bringing that up is that we as a society got to figure out, like, our relationships suck. And why do they suck? Like, you really suck because we have this. But divorce lawyers should not be making this much money.
And I feel like it's even worse now that everybody does have access to social media and so many screens in front of us that it just makes it so easy to cheat or to just become engrossed in whatever else it is and kind of ignore your spouse. I feel like it's gotten a lot easier to forget about your marriage vows.
Yeah, because I mean, somebody's
distractions.
It's easy for the boyfriend or ex-girlfriend to drop in your DM and things that weren't happening in 1995.
Right?
Like the things,
exactly.
Change things up. And also, I feel like I've read a lot of women fall victim to this, where they're on social media and they kind of say, "Oh, look, all these people's lives are so much better than mine." Women kind of have that issue more than men do. Once
constantly comparing.
Yeah, because I mean, I look on social media, I'm like, I don't give a crap. Like,
well, most
I
of
don't
the
really
time,
pay attention to that.
It's somebody's highlight reel anyway.
Yeah.
It's not their real life. It's just the very best parts of it.
Right. It's like, oh, look, here we are in Rome or wherever.
I've always tried to really put the bad out there with the good, because I think it just makes you more real and relatable and someone that you would believe, because obviously we all have bad parts of our lives.
Sure. I mean, it's really, we should all right. That gave me an idea. I'm going to create an alternate Facebook where it's just called like Bad Book. And all everybody does is write how horrible their lives are on that. That thing will sell. Like the people like, now I want to advertise on Bad Book because I'm reading all the drama.
I love to read about drama when it's not mine.
Yeah.
You get engrossed in that.
Like there'll be a section for all the women that put up inspirational quotes because they just got broken up with. Like there's a whole
Live,
section
laugh,
for that.
love.
Yeah, whole section for those women and whatnot. Anyway, we'll continue this on the next segment of the Lindsey Beckham show. Y'all stay tuned. Y'all stay tuned.
103.9 WYAB.
Nick Bain served Mississippi for over a decade in the State House. During that time, he fought for our children by protecting them against explicit materials pushed by the woke agenda. He protected taxpayers by streamlining government and helped create policies that have made Mississippi better. Nick and his team at Bain Bowen will use the same tenacity in helping you with all your legal matters. Call them today at 601-953-2994. Find Nick online at bainbowen.com. That's BAIN Bowen.com.
Pure Air Consultants has always been your go-to for reliable and affordable heating and cooling systems, and now we are offering day and night brand to avoid the 25 to 30% increases that everyone is talking about. With day and night, Pure Air Consultants professionals can install a reliable system with a 10-year system warranty, and right now receive $20 off on service diagnostic fees. Call us today, 601-939-7420. MyPureAirConsultants.com.
Friday night lights, family, and a hot Johnny's Pizza House pizza on the table. Now, that's our kind of hustle. Make it a sweep the kitchen and bring everyone together. Johnny's Pizza House. Let's share a slice. Here in the South, we keep our football loud and our pizza loaded. Grab a Johnny's Pizza House, sweep the kitchen, cheer on your hometown team. Johnny's Pizza House. Let's share a slice.
CBS News Brief. House Democrats released some emails from Jeffrey Epstein claiming President Trump spent hours with the victim and knew about the girls. Legal analyst Lori Levinson.
He has denied that type of involvement with Epstein, but this is the first time where we've seen messages among the parties that specifically mention Trump and his involvement.
The White House accuses Democrats of creating a fake narrative. With the House finally back in session, Speaker Mike Johnson says a vote to end the government shutdown is just hours away.
We believe the long national nightmare will be over tonight. It was completely and utterly foolish and pointless in the end, as we said all along.
It could take a bit to get air travel back on track, but correspondent Carter Evans reports.
Delta CEO Ed Bastain said today, if the vote goes through tonight, he expects things with his airline to be back to normal by the weekend.
CBS News Brief. I'm Stacey Lynn.
For over 15 years, A1 Gear and Auto has been your hometown specialist for your auto repair and maintenance needs. From brake repair to placement to radiators, engines, starters, alternators, heat, and AC water pumps, and more, A1 will get your vehicle back up and running and on the road and in a timely manner. A1 is one of the only shops in the metro that specializes in rear differentials, rear ends, and rings and pinions. Call today to set up an appointment, or if you got questions, at 601-939-1060. A1 Gear and Auto, your hometown vehicle specialist.
Hey, Rankin County, swing by the locally owned and award-winning 042 Wine and Spirits on Highway 80 next to Sonny's Barbecue in Brandon today. We've got one of the largest selections around with over 200 bourbons and whiskeys to ignite your taste buds, more than 50 vodkas, 50-plus tequilas, 30-plus rums, and ready-to-drink cocktails, as well as premium scotches. And get this, we've got over 400 wines in stock for the perfect pairing anytime. Discover your new favorites today at 042 Wine and Spirits right next to Sonny's Barbecue, Highway 80, Cross Gates, Brandon.
This is Lori at the Mailroom Gluckstadt with exciting news. We now offer photo services and large format printing, such as banners, yard signs, blueprints, and canvas prints. We also print business cards, invitations, photos, and more. And with the holidays coming fast, let us print your Christmas cards. Many projects may be ready the same day, and the Mailroom Gluckstadt is still your place for shipping, drop-offs, and gift wrapping. Visit us at 272 Calhoun Station Parkway, across from Callaway's in Gluckstadt. MailroomGluckstadt.com.
Now's the time to get a great deal on a Kubota Z200 series mower with the new K-Ride comfort system. Designed to optimize your ride, the series delivers a quality cut and an exceptional ride. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0 down, 1.99% APR for up to 48 months. Now through December 31st. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Divini Equipment, serving you in Madison and Jackson. Stop, call, or click at DiviniEquipment.com.
The holidays are here.
And welcome back to the Lindsey Beckham Show, where we're talking about a lawsuit that a woman filed, Lindsey, who was mad at her boyfriend, which if there was allowed to have lawsuits, you'd probably sued me a bunch of times by now.
I'm never mad at you. I don't know what you're talking about.
In this lawsuit, she claims that she was damaged because he failed to marry her after a decade of dating and promises to have children and whatnot. Basically, he lied to her like all guys lie to women, Lindsey.
I mean, he probably should have. He probably should have.
He did what every man does. If it's a lawsuit on that, we're all screwed.
Are you telling on yourself?
I'm just saying we're all screwed.
He probably should have agreed to pay for freezing her eggs.
I was thinking that last night too when I read
I mean,
it,
I don't believe he can be forced to do that, but just out of being a decent human.
I thought the same thing. I was like, why'd you just pay for damn egg freezing, dude? You got a decade out of her. I mean, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Like, this is ridiculous. That's what I mean. If real talk, that's if you came in my office.
Because if he had told her that 10 years prior that he was not going to want to have kids by the time she was out of childbearing age, she would have left him, I'm sure.
Yeah, she would have. And I mean, I think he said, like, look, man, I'm going to pay for I mean, if he came to get, to a lawyer, he obviously hired a lawyer to defend him from a lawsuit. And I would say, bro, let's just settle this right now. Pay her whatever, 30 or 40 grand and just walk away. You got a decade. I mean, and, you hurt her prospect. She's still young, 34. She can, freeze the egg. She'll be fine, but I think he should pay too. But he's not going to, and he's not. The law doesn't require him to.
Right.
That's where we are. But the law once did require people to do this. I mean, it was going back to the Middle Ages, and it was called like a breach of, contract to marry. It was just, it was if a man didn't do that, they would have to pay the woman for it. Like I was saying,
Does that mean if after they were engaged?
Yeah, they would have to be engaged, not just like.
So this couple wasn't engaged, right? Or
I think they were engaged.
Were they?
Yeah, they were engaged. But you got to think though. I mean, in the Middle Ages, I don't know that people decided to go to the movies. I think they just were gay. You were like the marriage was arranged, and there you go.
Right, and you were like 14.
Yeah, exactly. So it wasn't like a lot of courtship in that.
You had a long time of childbearing years,
and there probably wasn't a whole lot of like breaking it off in like 1450 because you probably got you probably might get killed by her dad or whoever. Like there was not a whole lot of that going on.
you would have a scarlet letter for sure.
Yeah.
Back then, you didn't get divorced.
No, I mean, and that's what I'm saying. There wasn't like if the marriage was arranged or put together, like you met through families or whatever the way they used to do it back then.
It's so funny to think about, Shaun. Even when our parents were young and in school, it's like if they came from broken households, it was kind of like the school and the teachers would look down on those parents as being not as good because they're divorced.
Oh, because they're divorced?
Yeah. Like that's something that has become very accepted.
Yeah, I mean, because most people are products of divorce. 50% divorce rate. I mean, everybody's got all kids at school probably now parents are divorced. Like nobody's parents are together, or at least half of them, I would assume.
I mean, what would women do back in the days where they couldn't really work?
Try to hook up with another man as best they could. I mean, that's kind of what you had to do.
When we were in Boston, we were at Paul Revere's house. Yeah. And he was the woman that was walking us through was telling us when we got up to the bedroom about how many kids they had and about his wife dying shortly after she gave birth to the last one and how he remarried this young girl from his church. And I was thinking, oh, I bet she was all over that.
It was like in 3 months, right? After
it was because that's what I said. And I asked her, I said, how did it happen that quickly? And I think that was just back then. If you were single and a man's wife died, you were going for that.
Probably didn't hurt that he was Paul Revere.
Right, of course. I mean, I'm sure his door was being beaten down. And he obviously wanted somebody too because he had 9 kids in the house to take care of. And he had not had to do that.
That's the way Paul Revere picked up women. He's like, I'm that guy. The British
I
are
didn't
coming.
say
that
that.
was me. The British are coming. That's
But it really wasn't even him.
Did.
It really wasn't him.
Yeah, it was right. It was Prescott, I think, that made the ride, if I remember correctly.
It was that Wordsworth.
No, that's who wrote the poem.
The poem, but that's
Wadsworth.
the poem is what made it Paul Revere, the famous one for that.
Yeah, because he had a better sounding name than, I think it was Samuel Prescott or somebody else. Well, there's like two other guys that made the ride, if I remember correctly.
That did more. They were like more on the front edge of it.
Well, Revere got caught. Like the one of the guys made it. I can't remember the guy's name now.
To the church.
Yeah, right. And so, but they didn't name it because his name was like my last name, which would be horrible in a poem. So they didn't use it like Yurtkuran. They didn't use it. So
nobody can say your last name.
Paul Revere had a cool sounding name, so we kind of. But I'm just saying, his life after that, he probably met a lot of women. He's like, dude, I'm that dude.
That was me.
The British are coming. That's it. So
it was a cool house.
Yeah, it was neat. But and some states have actually, so this was gone. Most states had got rid of this in countries. England had it till about 1970. South Carolina, I think I was reading earlier, still has some form of it. I mean, we've got lawsuits like that, Lindsay, even like that are people keep asking me, like, do we still have what's called alienation of affection? And we still have got that.
Yeah.
Not a lot of states do. And what that is, y'all, is if you're married and someone is
some hussy comes in
and like messing with your husband, and he leaves you you can sue her because you've been damaged. It was caused an alienation of affection.
I don't agree with that. I mean, your husband made the vows to you. He swore to you and before God and before all your family and friends to love you until death do us part. This other woman had nothing to do with your vows.
I love it as like a legal threat, but I mean, I get what you're saying. Like in terms of practicality, like it's kind of stupid. Like, why would I mean, that had nothing to do with. But I think
is going after or sleeping with a married man, is it a crime? I guess it could be considered
adultery
a
is a crime. I think even if you're not married, it's still applicable to you. It's still in the books. I don't know if anybody gets prosecuted for it. I actually had that come up in a case. I can't talk about that, but I mean, it's still on the books, but nobody's actually prosecuted somebody for it. I think probably in many, many years, but you can sue for it.
I mean, isn't it like still illegal in Mississippi to have anal sex or something like that? Something crazy. I'm like, how do you even know?
Like sodomy, is that what it's called? I think so. But
how do you even know? And how do you prosecute that?
Well, now, I mean, somebody put it on TikTok, so they'd find out pretty easy.
Lord have mercy.
But I mean, lawyers make, but I tell you what, if you're wealthy in the state and it happens, lawyers make a lot of money off of it because I've known some that have the alienation of affection lawsuits, not sodomy or the TikTok anal sex, but the actual.
I guess how do gay people consummate the marriage?
No, I'm assuming that's how they would do it.
But if it's illegal,
well, I mean. Just like the Judas Priest song, "Breaking the Law."
I've never even thought about that before. But that's interesting.
I don't think they really care at that point. I mean, if somebody told I don't think they're really concerned about that. I don't think that one's enforced either. And I was a prosecutor for a long time, and I never prosecuted anybody for adultery or having anal sex. That would have been. Now I think it'd have been funny if I got the chance to do that. But the alienation of affection thing does work, especially like kind of leverage in divorces is what a lot of family lawyers tell me. They use it for that. And if you're stupid enough to like have an affair with a married person, you kind of, there's consequences to that.
I mean, I
mean, there's just consequences and
FAFA, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're just the societal consequences, and I think maybe that's what they're trying to prevent. But I don't think we're getting rid of it because it's there's been talk about that forever, and it never get. Nobody in the legislature ever says, "Oh, we're getting rid of alienation of affection." I don't think it's gonna happen. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the same. I guess it's not illegal. You have freedom of speech. It's not illegal to call somebody the N-word, but who knows what's going to happen to you if you do. You're taking that chance of, I think you deserve what you get.
Right. I mean, it's just it's just I think there's probably a lawyer's lobby that's going to make sure that doesn't get rid of. That's what I'm guessing.
If you have a couple and say the man has cheated on the wife, the wife can use that alienation of affection as leverage when they are dividing up assets.
They do that a lot. Yeah, that's the lot of it. And also I've known a lot of guys that have sued for it because they're just, guys get real vindictive and they're really mad at the other guy that's sleeping with their wife. So they just try to financially ruin that guy. Now, here's a little secret for people that this has happened to, because this is coming from, the lawyers I know. If you're poor, they're not going to file the lawsuit, or if the person cheating with your wife is poor, they're not going to sue them because
you can't get blood from a turnip.
Yeah, well, what I'm saying, it's not like something insurance covers. So you will see the reported decisions that you will see about that's always like a doctor or some wealthy business person. It's never like a dude that's earning minimum wage gets sued for alienation effect. That never happens because there's no insurance. So that's why they.
Well,
So
I
if
mean,
you're wealthy,
say if you're a legislator in Hattiesburg named Chris,
that guy got sued for it. But that was probably, I don't know what he does for a living, but that's a good point in terms of politics. Now I could see it. Now somebody will probably, an opponent will probably fund a lawsuit against the person, even if they don't have money, if it's a political thing like that, I would say.
Yeah, because I hear he thinks he's well known enough to run for some statewide office or something. I think that would be a very bad idea on his part.
Well,
all his dirty laundry is going to be aired.
Yeah, and I'm sure I don't know what his profession is other than legislator, which a lot of them don't have any other profession than that. I don't know him. You know the situation. I don't know it, but I would say that, I mean, his was probably a political thing where we'll ruin this guy because it's probably some lawyer that was didn't like him politically, took it for free and wasn't going to make any money, because lawyers got to make money. They're not going to take lawsuits for the principal things. People call me and I'm like, it's the principal. It ain't for me. You know what I mean? Because I'm
in it for the money.
Yeah. I mean, I have a business to run just like you have a business to run, or everybody's got a business. We're not all doing it for that. So yeah, generally it's wealthy people. So if you're really rich, don't cheat with a married person. Go get a prostitute, because they're gonna
don't go get a prostitute either.
That's what you're better off doing, because
that's
you're gonna
illegal
get sued
too, Shaun.
Yeah, but it's less of a penalty than, I mean, you're better off.
Don't listen to Shaun.
You're better off. This is my legal advice as a criminal lawyer. You're better off with that than getting sued if you're wealthy for alienation affection and get lit up for 150, 200 grand or something, whatever it is.
How about if you're married, you just stay faithful to your spouse,
or just get a divorce and be happy like the rest of us? That's a good idea too. And we will continue this on the next section of the Lindsey Beckham Show. Be right back. And we will continue this on the next section of the Lindsey Beckham Show. Be right back.
.039 WYAB.
This is Doug with Magnolia Safety Group. Imagine a workplace where every employee feels safe and empowered. At Magnolia Safety Group, we make that vision a reality. From OSHA compliance to customized training, hazard assessments, and safety audits. We deliver tailored solutions that protect your people and boost productivity. Don't just meet safety standards, exceed them. Partner with Magnolia Safety Group and build a safer future one workplace at a time. Call us today to get started, or check out our website at magnoliasafetygroup.com.
Looking for the ultimate reset for your body and skin? At Core Wellness and Recovery, you'll find next-level services like cryotherapy, red light therapy, infrared sauna, body sculpting, and advanced facials. Whether you want to boost performance, recover faster, or just feel your best, Core Wellness and Recovery delivers real results with zero downtime. From muscle relief to radiant skin, this is self-care redefined. Come experience the future of wellness, Core Wellness and Recovery, just off Highland Colony in Ridgeland. Book now at corewellnessandrecovery.com.
If you want the best health care, where do you go? The Mayo Clinic. If you want the best care for your vehicle, where do you go? Mayo Auto Clinic in Raymond. Mayo Auto Clinic does foreign and domestic vehicles and diesel repair. Mayo Auto Clinic has ASE certified techs with over 25 years of experience. You can extend the life of your car or truck when you take it to Mayo Auto Clinic. For cost-effective repairs and maintenance, go to the best, Mayo Auto Clinic. Open weekdays at 7 a.m. Highway 18 in Raymond.
I'm speaking with Lee Bounds of Rapid Rate Mortgage. Why is Rita Jensen the type of real estate professional you are looking for?
As a mortgage professional, I look for making transactions easier, and Rita Jensen with Remax Connection is a prime example of that. Her attention to detail, her strong communication skills really help us as a mortgage company make everything smooth. From start contract to close, she helps me.
RitaJensen.net.
It can be hard to move past the guilt, times of weakness and regret, knowing you weren't there for your family when they needed you the most. But there is life after addiction. We're seeing broken families restored, one man at a time, through our vehicle, cash, and thrift store donations. It's given Mercy House Adult and Teen Challenge the ability to help these men succeed in having better lives. Donate a vehicle, running or not, and we'll come pick it up. Call today, 601-572-7296, or visit us at vehicledonationsms.com.
freedomlovers.com. Hey, freedom lovers, Big River Ballistics in Morton is your one-stop shop for all your 2A needs. From suppressors to everyday carry pistols and everything in between, we've got the gear. Test it in our beautiful facility and stretch out your rifle on our 1,150-yard range. Memberships start at only $40 a month. And hey, veterans, first responders, military, you're getting 10% off everything, including memberships. Visit BigRiverBallistics.com. That's Big River Ballistics, where freedom fires. Big River Ballistics, Morton, Mississippi.
Grizz Nation, the place to be is at FedEx Forum when your Memphis Grizzlies return to battle the Sacramento Kings on Thursday, November 20th at 7 p.m. Bring the energy and get the first look at the 2025-2026 City Edition uniforms on the court. Grab your tickets today at grizzlies.com/tickets or visit the FedEx Forum box office.
Hi, folks. Kim Wade here. Mississippi Energy Services provides generators. That's right. You may not need it now, but when you need backup power, you need a backup power generator from Mississippi Energy Services. Never again have to worry about being without heat, air conditioning, or all your frozen items spoiling because your energy was lost. You got backup power now, and it's so reliable. You'll be pleased with Mississippi Energy Services. Online at msenergy.us.
Come together right
now. Sorry, I had the wrong mic. Welcome back to the Lindsey Beckham show. For the last segment, we were talking about the what was it? The wonderful rate of divorce in this country.
The rate of divorce is declining.
Yes, 2%.
Look
right?
at
So
me
40.
over here trying to be glass half full.
Mm-hmm. You're trying to be.
Yeah, I said the rate of divorce is declining. See,
Well,
go marriage.
Go marriage.
I've never been divorced.
That's right. You have not. You
I have not.
And enjoyed the joy of that. I'll tell you what, it's a wonderful thing when it's over. It's a great thing. Your life is renewed, and you always look back like, thank God. Thank God.
I'm so sorry if any of Shaun's ex-wives are listening today.
Like, oh my God, that would be horrible. Anyway, that's what tends to happen. I mean, the worst people on my line, I'm not lying about that. So
that's why we work, because I can go home.
Yeah, you can go home, right? Nobody's living with me. I'm living with somebody is very difficult. It's very, very difficult when they're there every day.
I know it's like frowned upon to live together before marriage, but I also don't know how you really know if it's going to work or not, because they're so different, and there's things that you wouldn't know about people unless you have lived with them.
Yeah, I mean, I've read this story. It was like in the Washington Post like about a year ago, where this couple that was probably around our age, they'd been married and they had kids separately, whatever, with different people, and they said that they bought condos next to each other. And that's how I was like, that's kind of brilliant. I mean, I thought that was really smart. I was like, there's people thinking outside the box, And
a lot of people are like sleeping in separate bedrooms these days. I think that's ridiculous, but
that's a little weird. But I thought that the condos next door was a good idea. Like, I was like, that's
just to have like your own space. Yeah,
and they were talking about how they'd been doing that for about 10 years, and I was like, oh, this is pretty smart. But people see society be like, I can't believe people are doing that, and then we have a 50% divorce rate. I'm like, oh yeah, because what we're doing is really working. It's really working. What we're doing is totally working. And that's why these folks will continue to pay all the divorce lawyers money, and they will bill and bill and bill, when this could be a lot simpler on that end too. So.
Yeah, people waste a lot of money on divorces.
Oh my God. It's insane. I mean, I've told some of my good friends, I'm like, you are getting ripped off, because this, like, you could the law is going to give you what the law is going to give you. You don't have to pay the lawyer this much money, but I'm sure my family law friends like, shut up.
Yeah.
Stop talking. I mean, whatever I say is not going to prevent people from wanting to get the gold-plated hair dryer.
No, and there are attorneys out there that will promise the moon, knowing they can't deliver.
The law is the law. You're going to get what you're going to get. That's it. I mean,
and don't throw a fit.
Yeah.
Get what you get and don't throw a fit. That's what I tell my kids.
That's what it is. Nobody's just a bad or awesome divorce lawyer. The law is law there.
Yeah.
Anyway, we will see you tomorrow.
I'll be back. Same time, same place.